Hi guys, it's Tuesday the 25th of April. We are out on the brand new 2023 Allure 51.9. We've got about 11 knots of wind coming from the northeast. We're against the tide at the moment. About 2.5 knots of tide. Solent's out, you'll see that in just a sec. We're doing around 6.5 knots, full main, and it's infurling main. We'll go through all this in a little while, and yeah. You have, in theory, 3 sections to your cockpit. You have your storage, sun area when you're at anchor, and obviously your transom folds down to give you access there. Then you come forward and you have your helm area, so all the boat control systems, everything in here, area number 2, with all your winches and sail handling here. Nice rope bins, nice area to put your sheets and lines away, and then, so it's all kept clear, you have your cockpit area. And something that I think is really important and a good USP, as you can see, you can walk straight through if you need to. The tables fold out if you want, so when you are at anchor you have a nice big table for entertaining. When you're underway, obviously it keeps that passage open. Obviously all these come through underneath the deck, and you've got a nice big bank of clutches and a line storage. You have your winches, primaries, but it's just the way everything, like your Genoa track, everything, it's been thought and designed by sailors for sailors to make it easy when you're going around the world, and how everything has been managed by the deck management systems, all the way back to all your extra line blocks for furlers, for spinnakers, Cody or Jenicas as they have here, even to the small details of how it's been moulded into a galley. You know, zero friction, everything's well managed to get to the winches, so you don't have to leave the cockpit at all. It's an aft cockpit, but it might as well be a centre cockpit. As you know, Allure are built in the same shipyard as Garcia. Right at the beginning of this, it was splashed yesterday, so today they're testing all the electronic systems, making sure that the furlers, the autopilot, all that sort of stuff is working. It's a very fresh morning here at Cherbourg, but this boat's easy to get around. We've got a little bit of a hill, not too much, but obviously holding the camera, so I've only got one hand to hold on to the rails. It's good, really, really good. We're going to have a look at the foredeck. You have a lovely wide foredeck, flash hatches, nice and easy to work with. If you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. Have a look at some of the other videos, see what you like, and I want to say a huge thank you to all our subscribers and to everybody that comments on our videos. Without you, we wouldn't be able to keep this going. Now, autopilot's working. As you can see, you have your electric throttle control. The boat comes as standard with a Volvo Penta 110 horsepower. You have your bow and stern thruster. Bow thruster is standard, stern thruster, I think, I'll make sure I'm correct, is an option. Here's your autopilot and your B&G chart plotter. As you can see, the boat's in tests. There's something, you know, I always go on about this with the pedestals. They've got a nice handhold. Give you something to hold on to instead of the wheel, because eventually you're going to bugger it up. It's going to get a wobble. On the starboard pedestal, you have your Volvo engine start stop and your, obviously, your revs counter and so on. And while I'm sat here, give you a look. Some of the sail handling systems. Your primary winches are just here by the wheel. It's a 58 Anderson self-tailing winch, electric. Your electric controls are just here, and the nice thing with these, I'm not going to play with them because we've got the sails out, but if you just push the button lightly, the winch will only go slowly. The heavier you push it, the more you push it, the faster the winch will go. Very nice bit of kit. Have a compass just over here, but this is my view from the helm. Pretty good view. Got a fantastic view of the sails. Okay, we've got 14 knots on the beam, Solent out, main out, full main, unfurl. We're doing 7.5 knots. It's not too bad. Like the Garcia, you've got really nice, high, solid stainless steel handrails. Obviously wire lower down. To give you an idea, if you can see that, once again, the two boats actually share a lot of similarities. Coming forward, we'll do all the hatches in a minute. Up on the port side, you have inboard and outboard shrouds. Your Genoa tracks, Selden Lumar tracks, I apologise. There we go, best of British. All your lines, sheets running aft. We'll go through the banks of clutches when we get back in the cockpit. Tow rail's a little small. My favourite, granny bars. You have a winch on the mast if you need it, either side, and there are some mast steps, but obviously it's in furling main. It's your vang coming down, and a nice carbon pole for your spinnaker. Come up to the granny bars. This boat is very easy to walk around. You have non-slip all over your cabin top and on the hard top, which is an option. We'll go through that. Nice hard top, solar panels, got your granny bars, everything's nice and safe. Nice big beefy gooseneck. And you can see your furling line for the mainsail in there. Single barrel roller, you can have a double. Obviously it's all integral. Being an aluminium boat, it's all aluminium. You can see your furler forward there for your code D or 0, and obviously you can attach a spinnaker if you want to. Your Genoa furler, there is an option if you want to have them electric if you wish, and there is your Lumar windlass. The difference between this and the Garcia, I won't open the hatch till we get back in the marina because I don't want to fill it with water, but between this and the Garcia, all your anchor chain is actually kept forward, whereas the Garcia, it went all the way back to the mast. Right, through a sealed hatch, your chain locker is forward just here. I think there's about 80 meters of chain on this boat, maybe a bit more. You have your electrics for your windlass and other bits and pieces here, and storage for your sails. And it actually goes, I'm full of sails at the moment, but it actually goes underneath the anchor locker. So very far forward you have a small watertight crash bulkhead, and then I'll turn you around quickly. Here you have yet another watertight bulkhead. Plenty of places for hanging your lines, popping in fenders. You have a freshwater washdown for your anchor chain, or it can be switched over to salt water, and a ladder which you need to get in and out of the locker. I will admit I'm very thankful and I feel quite privileged to have the invitation to come and have a look around this boat. There are handholds everywhere. As you can see, there are places to put halyards or run a jack line. Here you can see the adjustable backstay in action. Obviously you have two backstays fixed and then adjustable backstays port and starboard. But I will admit that this furling mainsail actually has quite a nice shape. I know it's brand new, so there's no sag, it's nice and stiff, but it was very, very easy to unfurl. We'll see what it's like putting it back in the mast. Some of your deck hardware, organising your lines, your sheets. Wouldn't want any comments about that, would I? And then you have a nice bank of clutches just coming into the cockpit area. If I come around this way, you'll be able to see. Pretty explanatory. All your lines run underneath the deck. They're all organised, line organisers. And there, obviously, you can see the spaghetti of the lines. underneath the helm seats, which I think is pretty neat, you have 2 storage lockers. This is port side, same starboard side, room for 2, and your starboard on your aluminium arch. And there you can see this one's fitted with a solar panel. You've got access either side, so you can undo the steel lines here to get on and off when the transom is down, and there is your block for lowering the transom. And if you're up on a quay wall or something like that, both port and starboard, you can undo the lines here. While we're here, make the most of it. You have a shore water connection there, so you don't have to use your fresh water from your tanks if you don't want to. And you have a hot and cold fresh water shower. I don't think the pumps are on, so just here. Shore power. There's a vent for the engine room there. Okay, here you have the large lazarette. At the moment it's full up of all the junk, all the fenders, all the extra bits and pieces. There's enough room in here to get, I don't know, your electric bikes, paddle boards, diving tanks, and steering system. Nice strong joints. Your Victron, there you go, shore power, climate control. There's your fuses. Have another one just here. So there's two bulkheads, 2 watertight crash bulkheads for safety, and 5 easy steps to get down. Before we have a look, I'll give you a pano of the saloon. You'll have to mind the mess because obviously the boat is on test today as they're testing the systems. But as you can see, there is plenty of light. You have these fabulous windows up top, a forward facing window which I think is very smart. Obviously everything's got privacy blinds, and then obviously your port lights down below. What I'm gonna do, which is a bit cheeky because there's so much stuff here and it's unfinished, is I'm gonna cut to some images we did at Boot Dusseldorf just for the galley, because as you can see they're still arranging all the cupboards and drawers. The stuff up the top I can show you here anyway. You have a salt water, a fresh water, and a hot and cold fresh water taps. There's a small draining stainless steel and a large stainless steel sink there, and as I showed you on Dusseldorf, you'll see in the clips coming up now, you have an area behind there that is actually storage. I'll see if I can get down a little bit. We don't want to see too much from boot. You have a fridge, another one underneath, or fridge freezer. This owner has opted for a large dishwasher. As you can see, there's some mains plugs in there. There is storage down in here and a fan. And over on this side you'll see one of the port lights that open, little windows that opens up, that goes into the cockpit. It's a shame there's so much stuff in here, but I wasn't going to say no to the opportunity to going out on the boat. Large cupboards, as you can see, like the Garcia, they are vented at the back. You have another one here, and then some overhead cupboards up here, once again vented. A nice big deep fiddles to stop stuff coming out. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that one will have a look. It's got some technical gear in a minute. You have an extractor fan, and I'll come back out the way a little bit. A 3-burner gimbaled stove. This comes as standard, and if you want, you can have induction as an option. A nice grab bar at the front, and the fiddles on the Corian worktop are really nice and deep, so they're going to prevent spillages. Gives you something great to hold on to. Nice large drawer, soft closing, and come and have a look. There we go. Bottle storage, and obviously you have 3 large drawers here. There is storage underneath the cooker, another drawer underneath the dishwasher. Just stand on the sail bag, and you have 3 large cupboards underneath the sink, and some light switches here. Like the Garcia, you have grab handles everywhere, so no matter where you are on the boat, and I know they have some which are going to be put up here, they haven't been installed yet. I'm going to start on the port side by the nav station. A very large single 1.5 size seat, and behind it there's storage with USB charging. As I pointed out in Dusseldorf, this is actually one of my favourite spots on the boat. The nav area, you have a nice seat that turns. I'm going to plonk my bum on it. And one of the things I like about it is you have a really nice view out to the helm station, so you can see what's going on out there. A 12-inch B&G chart plotter. You have your VHF, repeaters, autopilot, fusion stereo. This is obviously your computer for batteries, battery levels, what they're doing. You can see on here, I don't have to speak it out. Several menus, and then you have your main system, which tells you about how much fuel you have, water tanks, so on and so forth. And then up in the cupboard you have your thermostatic controls, DC isolator, you know, all your necessary bits and pieces, all nice to hand. There is relatively decent space underneath the chart table. You have, I have to make sure I've got this right, yeah, it is USB, so you have direct USB port access there, and plugs and USB chargers just here. And over on the starboard side to my left you have the saloon, very, very comfortable. Adjustable table which will drop down and turn that into a large double. The owner has opted for like a soft suede. It's really, really nice. The options you get on materials and wood with Allures is very large. Here there's a mirror. If you want, you can have a television. I think the mirror is quite nice, makes it look a bit bigger. Very, very nice space. I have some cupboards over here. Let me drop that down. So, some nice cupboards. aluminium bars to drop its little details everywhere. I know I go on about this a lot, but it's the details that make the difference. And little storage cubbies for bits and pieces. Once again, light switches and more handholds as you're going forwards that have been nicely wrapped in leather. Up the top, these great big fiddles and more storage on the top. I'll just give you a look how nice and tight the joinery is. Light oak, solid oak on the outside, and then veneered marine ply. On the port side, coming forward, you have an electric flush, freshwater flush heads, single stainless steel sink, and even in here there's grab handles. You know this is a boat meant to cross oceans. It's a grey water tank, and as you can see, it's not something I show often. You can see all your pipes and connections. Nice to see the services from time to time. Once again, vented. There is an opening hatch above my head with privacy blinds and insect netting. And just in here, that is a really nice easy push. Normally the shower doors on boats are a pain in the bum, but that's really nice. It's a shower for one, that's for sure. You know, separate shower, it's nice to have some shelving, and it's nice to have some bits and pieces for putting all your bottled soap, and somewhere if you want to hang wet weather gear, which is really nice. Self-draining headroom. I shall tilt it up. Once again, I'm 5'8". My arm is nearly fully stretched to the top, so you've got at least 2 meters 10, which is really nice. On the starboard, on my right, it's all full of cushions at the moment, so we might clip to some B-roll from Dusseldorf. You have a really nice bunk room. Once again, plug, USB charging. The lower bunk, well, I don't know, they'll be alright for the kids. And you have an opening hatch up here, and a small, this is actually inside, but a frosted glass for extra light. There are clips for lee cloths on both the bunks, and both the bunks have reading lights. And behind the door there is 2 small storage cupboards. It's a nice double island berth, which has been surrounded in stitched leather. It's really nice. The berth lifts up on gas struts, and as you can see, there is plenty of storage underneath. And obviously if I pulled it out, you have a drawer underneath as well. No, it's a blank cupboard. Oh no, there we go. You have shelves cupboard on the port side. Once again, mains plug, USB, USB 3. There's your heater controls, aircon, and as you can see, like I say, you know, the services are still being finished off, bits and pieces are being done. But you have fabulous port lights either side of the bed, and once again, the choice of material, it feels quality, absolute quality. And as you know, with Allures and Garcia, have your aluminium hull. It is then insulated, and the insulated is brought into certain points 74 mil. So it's pretty good. Overhead cupboard, ventilated. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same on the other side. 2 opening hatches up above, which is fabulous. Underneath, I'm not going to be able to lift all the hatches, but here is your centerboard. A nice window so you can see what's going on. And the lines, unlike the one on the Garcia, which was hydraulic, which you can have done on here, this one's been set up with manual lines, which is fine. And then obviously water tank. See if I can find the diesel tanks for you guys. Of your companionway, your steps down, you have one of your diesel tanks, and then on the left you have your secondary diesel tank, and access to filters. Just up here on my left you have your water maker controls. Okay, coming aft, starboard side, we have some more drawers for stocking what you wish, and all important, bottle storage. Oh mon dieu. And this, if you remember from the Allure 40, which we did last year, which they don't do anymore, you got the Allure 45, and now into the Garcia range. This still is your mechanical space. It's just been smartened up. You have a freezer, which I think is rather nice, and then your worktop bench all the way along here, or you could set up a coffee machine or whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. Washing machine, which if you're going off around the world is very handy. And over this side, if you wanted to put, I don't know, a dryer or something like that, you've got air conditioning or a wet locker. And here you can see the insulation and how it's laid, which is very smart. You're not having to worry about condensation on this boat. There is access to services here and here under the water maker. For the engine, there you go, access to pipes, another cupboard. Normally on here you would have big plastic slide out drawers. And once again, the boat's, you know, it's in its finishing stages. And there's a plastic drawer. There's your water filters. Another enormous cupboard, hanging locker here. This one is heated and ventilated, so it'd be a very good locker for wet gear. And I can reach the back. There's no worries about storage in this boat. And before we do the mechanical space, I'll show you some lights on the aft cabin. So the owner's suite, you have a very large double bed, access down both sides. Give you a pano of this room. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, the privacy blinds are down, but there's a large, when we're at the rear you would have seen it, there's a large window all the way along the rear. all over this boat the ceilings are panelled in a very nice soft material. I'll give you an idea of head height in here, because I know you guys like to know. So once again, it's, you know, I'm central, so I'll go the other way. Do apologise for spinning you around. I'm central to the beds, which in the cockpit is normally the lowest area. It's got to be 2 meters plus. Right, over on the port side, there's that lovely 2-seater sofa. I'm about to run out of battery. So you have storage areas there, nice little storagey thing, and there is storage behind the chair too. Some great port lights and cupboards up here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 overheads on this side, and the same over there. You have a reading light for one another, you know, for each of you on the bed, and there's also one over by the chair. And if I can find the switch for these, there you have nice light there too. There is storage underneath the floor and access to the bilge and facilities to give you access to your safe, your air ventilation pipe there, and there's obviously storage down along here, and you have 2 drawers, and then over here the owner's heads, electric flush, freshwater flush. Once again, nice worktop, small stainless steel sink, hot and cold running water, and this shower is much better. A shower for 2. Had a squeeze. You have ventilation up here into the cockpit area. I'm going to get into the shower. Plenty of space and ventilation up there. All 3 mirrors open. I'll give you a look. Just close this door, so you can't really see actually how much room I have in here, but there's, you know, I can get my arms out. There's plenty of room, plenty of head height once again in the shower, not bad at all, and access to obviously your tank behind here. Once again, handy spots for putting in all your gubbins, and access to the other tank down there. Very, very nice. Now, I'll give you a quick look in one of these cupboards. There you go. Once again, ventilated. And then the all-important mechanical space, which is lovely and warm. Right, electric switches, it's marked on there, you can read. Engine, generator. Here's your main 220 electric fuses system. You have your fuel scrubbers, fuel filters, so in case you need to change one to the other, which can be done while underway, you just pop the handle over. As I said earlier, this is a Volvo Penta, 110 horsepower. There is an option for a larger engine if you wish. Your 50-litre hot water tank and a Panda generator. You have your master vault bits and pieces up here. your fuses for your winches and so on, and everything is labelled and marked. Very, very nice. This is a prop shaft, not a sail drive, and there is a skeg. It's skegged, so at least it's protected. Twin rudder boat. Very, very pleasant. Just close that. A nice amount of insulation and soundproofing. Very, very quiet. Right. If I've missed anything or you want any more information, it's been a very quick morning this morning. Please let me know in the comments below. If you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. Have a look at some of the other videos, see what you like. And I want to say a huge thank you to all our subscribers and to everybody that comments on our videos. Without you, we wouldn't be able to keep this going. You make everything possible. So really, a really big thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to go around the boat now and see if there's bits that I've missed. See you again. Cheers.